So now it's time to look at the framework that we are going to use. As mentioned in the previous section, we are going to use the open source framework called Surprise. This framework is maintained by Nicholas, and you can find it by navigating to surpriselib.com. On the front page you will have an overview and a basic introduction to what this framework actually is and what kind of algorithms that it contains. It is, as mentioned here, a Python library for recommender systems, meaning that all the algorithms that you will find in here is basically recommender algorithms. Recommender algorithms are where you give an input, typically users and items, and some ratings that these users have given those items, and then the algorithms are capable of predicting what kind of rating the users will probably give to the items that they have not yet rated, meaning that these algorithms could be typically Netflix algorithms that can be used in the context that Netflix is operating in, the movie recommendation, or in the context of Amazon where you recommend items in a store setting. And some of these algorithms are actually, well, have actually been used in some of the world's most popular services. So it's a Python framework, meaning that of course we are going to be writing Python code in this course, and I'm looking forward to do that with you. And then we will be evaluating based on what is called fivefold cross-validation, which is a very famous way of validating our algorithm within machine learning in a computer science setting, because we will split up our results in order to get a calculated score of how well our algorithm performed, meaning that how far did we miscalculate. So if a user has rated an item with a rating of 2, then if our algorithm rated 1 as a prediction, then we were 1 rating off for that particular user. But we will be talking much more about the evaluation part in the next lecture, before we start by creating our Python recommender skeleton, which will also be in this part. I want to introduce the theory before we get started, because people tend to get too fast into the programming stuff and then forget about the theory and thereby misunderstand the result that they are getting. So on this side you can see the different algorithms. They have been tested on 2 different datasets, which is the MovieLens 100k and MovieLens 1 million, and you have what is called root mean square error and mean average error, which is something I will explain in the next lecture. Then you have the different algorithms that this framework contain. What we are going to be working with in this course is KNN and singular value decomposition. So basically you can see here how this framework works, and you can dig into the documentary and then follow along, meaning that after you have completed this course, if you want to experiment with some of the other algorithms or see what else this framework is capable of, you can go into documentation and start to experiment yourself. There's a lot of different parameters that you can set, and your result will either be better or worse depending on the dataset and what parameters you are using. So this is a really fun thing to do in order to really understand what is going on in the algorithms, because when you're playing with the parameters you start to understand why the algorithm react in a certain way. So this is something I recommend you to do, and now it's time for us to look into how we will evaluate our algorithms. So see you in the next lecture.